We are live. Hello,
We are.
friends. Hello. Welcome to the Vintage Rescue Squad, where we save vintage one antique mall at a time.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. Welcome. Now, there's only two of us, but George the Antique Nomad is doing his premiere right now. He will be on. What did he say? In like 22.5 minutes. So he counted down to the minute. And Tina, I keep calling her you. Tina, a Vision and Vintage co. She's having technical difficulties, so I'm communicating with her, and we're going to get her going. So she's working on some things. But until then, you get us.
You sure do.
I want to take this moment to congratulate Mr. Michael for there she is.
You see me?
Yay!
Yes.
I couldn't figure out what the hell to do. If you wouldn't have asked me where the heck I was, I had no clue.
Well, I'm glad that I asked you where you were.
Yeah, because yes, I struggle. I struggle with technology. I'm sorry.
Tina was on the struggle bus this evening. But
Yeah.
Hey, Tina, I live on the struggle bus, so it's a common place for me. Well,
yeah.
I wanted to say before Tina popped on, I'll do our introduction with Tina in just a second, but Michael dropped his very first YouTube video today.
Really?
Very first one. So make sure that you are subscribed to the Cult of Vintage.
Yeah. Choo-choo.
Choo-choo.
Talk about the struggle bus. Come on aboard, everybody.
Well, hello. Go ahead, Tina.
What'd you do your first video on?
I just did an introduction video. I'm keeping it simple the first couple of videos. So it was just a, hey, hi, how are ya? This is me. You know.
We all have that very first video. Michael dropped his today.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
I see a lot of our friends here in the chat. I'm seeing Thrift U and Helen, Casey, Vinny. Hey, Vinny. Now Vinny's gonna be on the Vintage Rescue Squad next week.
Oh yeah.
Lord.
Hello. I'm seeing lots of friends. Pamela. Ooh, there's Jamie, Mid-Century Wasted.
Thank you, Jamie.
Oh my gosh, look at all these people throwing Michael some love. The Thrifting Librarian, Thrift U, all kinds of friends in the house. Oh, Roxana, you couldn't find Michael's video? Well, I bet someone in the chat will drop a link.
I can't see comment.
And Dave in the Med Center. Hey, Dave. Oh, Dave, that is that whose husband are you?
John.
You are Tammy's husband.
What? So I can see what people are saying.
I saw LaDonna. Hello. LaDonna. Tiger. Hi, Tigs. Tiger's here today. And Beth. We got all kinds of friends here today. There's 136 lovely people joining us in the chat today. Yeah, Vintage Tammy Vintage Uprising. I knew I recognized. Look, I remember, Dave. I remembered. All right. Oh, thank you, Thrift Jew. Thrift Jew just put Michael's link to his video down in the comments. Colleen, I don't remember everyone. Trust me. And if I call you by your YouTube name, that's what you are. I won't remember your actual name. Well, our lovely guest this evening, or one of our lovely guests this evening, is Tina from A Vision in Vintage.
Hello.
Yeah.
I've known Tina, gosh, since the early days of my channel.
Yeah.
Early. We've met up a couple of times. We've chatted. Tina is Oh my gosh. Tina has a very eclectic and fun and some may say weird, but we love weird in these parts.
I do.
So Tina, why don't you, I'm going to let Maybelle out because she's crying, but why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you and your channel and the types of videos that you have for everybody.
Well, my name's Tina. I'm from A Vision and Vintage Co. I started my channel probably, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. I basically just do the same thing. I do thrift hauls, where I also take you guys along with me, when I go shopping and stuff to thrift for antiques and vintage. And then, just the normal hauls. Occasionally I do like something out of the ordinary, like I did the other day, where, I filmed a grave site.
Yeah.
But, it's all kind of within the realm of, uncommon is what I call it, uncommon vintage and antiques. So not your everyday norm. Let's put it that way. The weirder, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we all like weird around here. Hey, there's Randy girl. We all love weird. Now, and Tina, little known fact. Well, maybe it is a known fact, but I don't think a lot of people know that Tina makes really nice treats for kitties and doggies. Are you still doing the catnip?
Well, I was doing the catnip when I was doing more of gardening, and I had a bunch of catnip growing in my backyard. And then the dog cookies was kind of like a side deal too, where, I was locally advertising the dog cookies and just selling them to people. But since I got them for you, I think I haven't done them since.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, and she sent some to Brutus, and he just loved them so much. Before he got some really good Tina's cookies before Brutus had a little heart attack and passed away. But yeah, he loved her cookies. Donde este George? He is coming in about 20 minutes. He's doing his premiere, so he will be here. Tina also. Oh, we got a thing. Whatchamacallit? An echo. That's what we call it. All right. So Tina Tina, did you just send a box to Michael and I? Did you send one to George?
Yep.
You did?
All three of you.
Okay. So that's going to be coming up soon when we have George back. Michael and I are flipping out here.
It's not what you think it is. I don't want you to be disappointed.
Well, we hear liquids. So did you put a shrunken clown head preserved in embalming fluid in my box?
I wish I would have thought of that, but no. No, I didn't do that.
So Tina, that's the first time. That is the brilliant, most fun thing. I wish I had that kind of mind to think ahead and say, I must send them something and we're going to open something fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's more to it than that. Once you open it, you're going to figure out what it is. And it's something that you like to do a lot of. And it begins with the word G. What do you like to do? Besides thrifting.
Girl.
That begins with a G.
Uh-huh. Can you figure it out?
Gorillas? No.
Something you play with other people?
Snapchat? No.
Games.
Marco Polo?
It's a game. It's a game.
Yes.
It's a game.
Gamble? Golfing? Yeah, look at all these. Gossiping? Golfing? What else?
It's a game. It's a game. That's all I'm going to say.
Gangsta games, categories, but it starts with a G, Kitty Cat. It starts with a G.
G. Game is game. Game is the G.
Yeah. It's a game.
Oh, man. G mini Christmas. I don't know. Garage sales. Ooh, that was a good one, Randy.
You're putting too much thought into it.
Gardening. Oh, Marty. Listen, there will be no garden. We normally do plant a garden every spring and summer, but since we're having the issues, with our septic, we don't think we're going to put a garden in this year.
Free fertilizer, people pay good money for that.
Yeah.
We're going to wait. We're going to wait till next year.
I can't see the chat.
G for game. So something game?
What the heck is you talking about poop hole?
Oh, Tina.
Poop hole troubles.
Yes, we have to replace our septic.
Oh, that's what she's talking about.
Yes, because I wanted to redo my kitchen, and now we have to put in a septic because that's fun.
Oh, I thought she was literally talking about a poop hole, not a septic.
I mean, it kind of is.
As in sphincter.
Elm St. Odds and Ends, Linda says, just a game, Misty. Game is the answer.
Exactly.
Listen, I am very slow at picking up on things. I'll just tell you that right now. I just
the bus is slowly pulling away right now.
The short one.
Yeah. The short bus. Well, did Misty forget her meds again? No, actually, I've done very good taking them this week.
I took mine today. I actually took mine, plus I took an extra to make sure I was on my best behavior tonight.
Oh, well, thank you, Tina.
You're welcome. I beat on my meds just for you.
Well, I appreciate that. We feel honored. Has everybody taken their meds today?
I have.
Take them if you got them.
You're
Nancy,
supposed to get on the short bus.
We don't know what's in the box yet. We're waiting on George, and we're going to have an unboxing. This is going to be a fun thing. Maybe we should do a show and tell every Monday night. And everyone brings one thing to show and tell.
Okay.
Like
favorite find of the week, like spotlight or something.
Yeah, well, no, like something like what you would do in elementary school.
Okay.
We can start with the letter A. Because today is A. You have to bring something that begins with the letter A. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, everybody's saying yes. Hi, Virginia. Okay. Virginia says, Tina, who is the lovely young lady? So, Virginia, you are Tina's favorite guest today.
Yes. Hello. I'm not young. I'm gonna be 49.
Ooh, sorry. That's still young.
Next month. Well, it doesn't feel young.
Right. I know. I'm gonna be 46. So it isn't like it. You don't look forward to birthdays like we used to when we were.
No, not at all.
They seem to come faster and faster for some reason.
Virginia says you're still a young girl.
Oh, okay.
Her channel is A Vision in Vintage. And everyone's channels is going to be linked in the description after this video goes live. So you can make sure that you go and subscribe and show them some love. Lucy said, we're infants. Oh, girl, you're young. Oh, Colleen's turning 50 in August. So, yeah, I think doing some show and tell might be a good, fun thing to do. Okay. Maybe I should wait till George is here, but we did get some questions. I asked for some questions and we received some questions. And I know now, Tina, are you selling on eBay or Etsy now? Is it just Etsy?
Etsy.
Yeah, you don't sell on eBay, right?
No, not on eBay. No.
Have you ever sold on eBay?
I have a few times. I don't know. There's so much competition. But I like Etsy just because of the fact that it's kind of like a boutique. It's you can get more money for your product than you can on eBay, I think. I mean, I don't know what your perception is on it, but I've stayed with Etsy through all the changes and everything, and I've been happy with it.
Well, and you guys that are in the chat, I mean, are you selling on both eBay and Etsy? Let us know in the chat if you're what platform you are selling on. Is it just Etsy, or is it just eBay, or is it both? I know some people probably still sell on Mercari and Poshmark and OfferUp. I know that there's all kinds of platforms out there. Yeah. Where did I see that?
I mean, I think that's a fair assessment, though. You know, when you have, it's like eBay is like the Walmart, I guess, secondhand, and Etsy would be more like your Target. You know, you do pay. I feel like if I go to Etsy, I probably am going to pay a little bit more of a premium, but I find it's easier to find things, I guess. Yeah. And I do know that going into a store, especially if I find one item that I like from a particular seller, I can go in. Tina's a really good example. If there's that one item and you click on it and follow into that person's store, I mean, you're typically going to like a lot of the stuff, if not all of the stuff that seller is offering.
Yeah, because they're usually kind of, I don't know, they have like a niche.
Yeah.
Most of the time they do. It's like I have a theme kind of, but not really. It's kind of a loose theme. So you can find a lot of different things in my shop, but they're all kind of out of the ordinary, not something you could just stroll into your regular shop and find, you know. But it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort on my part to try to find things like that, because it isn't easy to find.
Right. Yeah, your Etsy store is very curated. And it is, I mean, the last video I was in, and if you've seen that video, I said, oh, I bet Tina would love to have this, you know, morgue table, this embalming table as her dining room table. And then the funeral flag. So I'll let you know where that place, well, I told you where it was, Tina. They have a ton of those funeral flag, magnetic funeral flag, but they were $25 each, which I thought was probably pretty retail.
Grab one of my funeral flags.
Yeah,
that is retail. Actually,
yeah, is it retail? About $25 retail?
Yeah,
that's what I thought. I figured about that much, because I know that macabre things and really anything funeral related. Yeah. Oh, see, that one's an early one too. I think the font on it's very different. Anything funeral related is pretty hot. I mean, people really do collect it.
This is old. This is one that would have went actually on the car.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. There's no magnet on that.
No, it's
is that for the window?
See how it's got the little wall here? Yeah, but it's been used. It's all tattered, and you know, but I thrifted that. I, believe it or not, went on a shopping trip at an old funeral home. Yeah, I actually called all of my area and outside of my area, and finally found a funeral home that didn't throw anything away. And he was more than happy to let me in. I got the video on my channel, but he had stuff that was, you know, over 100 years old.
Oh, wow.
And that funeral home was in business. Like, they built it, I think, in the 1880s. So they had like a wicker coffin, you know, all that type of stuff. And I got my hands on a ton of like new old stock embalming fluid bottles that had never even been opened and used. They still had the fluid in them. I mean, you name it, I found it.
I bet you were like a kid in the candy store.
Oh, I was ecstatic. I was so excited. It was because that is like a once in a lifetime pick.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you don't get to do stuff like that. And the rest of the items that he has actually are going to go in a museum.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of museum? The funeral museum?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, that would be a neat. I like you can find a lot of eBay videos of people. Like, I watch a couple travel vloggers, and I like it when they go to, like, there's a museum of weird, and it's just like like weird things and like oddities and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of fun even to watch it virtually.
I'm going to the Oddities and Curiosities Expo this coming weekend.
It's this weekend, right?
Yeah, it's the 10th. And I'm going to take my camera with me, and I'm going to film for sure. I'm probably going to have two-parter.
Yeah, Tina invited me to go, and I have my first vaccine. I'm still kind of about being in like a mass, like I don't know how many people are going to be there, but Jeffrey's coming this week anyway, so it wouldn't have worked out. But yeah, I that is something that I would like to go see. Like, what kind of things do they have there, Tina, at this expo?
Well, generally all of it. I mean, there are a bunch of different vendors that come there and they set up shop there, and it's all kind of along the lines of bones and skulls and preserved specimens. Sometimes just paintings. You know, creepy dolls. I mean, you name it. It's yeah. But this will be my first time actually getting to go. I wanted to go last year, but because of COVID, they canceled it. And so this will be my first time. So I've only actually watched videos on YouTube actually of people going to these expos, and it looks really interesting. I almost signed up for the jackalope course.
You had to pay the jackalope?
Yes, jackalope. You pay $200 and you get to take a course while you're there, and you make your own jackalope, which is a rabbit with antlers. Yeah.
Well, Tina, and listen, no roadkill is safe from Tina.
No, it's not.
Tina will go pick her up some roadkill and do. I mean, but it's all about using everything. Why let it just go to waste? Tina, she's like, you know, the people that would use every part of an animal. You know, so it's really kind of a cool thing because you don't like do disturbing things with it. You preserve them. You know,
no, I don't do rituals in my backyard. None of that kind of stuff.
No,
but no, there is a good story actually, because I've been collecting dead birds in my freezer, and this is kind of an instance of saving, I guess you could say. But there was the house wren that passed away that I have been watching them raise their young and all of that. And one of them froze to death and was outside of the nest. And they have their nest like right underneath my carport. So I picked the little guy up and put him in the freezer. And then I had seen, when we were driving down the street, I seen a female cardinal, which is the really pretty one. Or no, it was the male. Males are the prettier ones. And I seen him get hit by a car. And so I pulled off the side of the road, and he was, of course, instantly dead. But then I grabbed him too. And my kids just shake their head at me.
I can imagine.
And the same concept, like 6 months ago, I was going to the post office to take, packages. And I remember looking at this woodpecker hopping around their yard, happy as can be. And then when I come back from the post office, it was dead on the road. So I got a hold of this girl. She's in school and she deals with wildlife and saving wildlife and all that stuff. And she actually does taxidermy. So I sent my frozen birds to her, and the birds are going to be taxidermied and mounted and used for educational purposes.
Oh, nice. See? It's not creepy and weird, and it's for educational purpose, and they're still beautiful. They're forever like preserved in their beauty. Right. So it wasn't like she's going out and hunting these animals. They were, they had naturally passed.
Well, not passed by a truck.
Kind of. Well, who just said? Oh, well, thank you. Cheap finds, gold mines. Thank you. First thing I hear is I collect dead birds in my freezer. New sub here. Yeah. Well, go make sure that you subscribe to Tina's channel, A Vision in Vintage. It is. I'm waving. I saw the word wave, and now I'm waving. It's linked. It will be linked in the description down below. George should be joining us anytime. It's a little creepy and weird, but we love it. We love creepy and weird.
I love nature. I love nature. And what's funny is most of the people that really love and protect nature are the same people that love like taxidermy, or they're hunters or whatever else. They're the ones on the forefront of protecting,
right.
our wildlife, our different, I've got collections of, if I've got pine cones, something as simple as pine cones, feathers, any kind of things like that. I collect them because it's part of nature,
Right.
nests, anything like that. I can spot while driving 55 miles an hour, I can spot a dead butterfly on the side of the road, and I will literally screech my tires and pull over and pick that butterfly up, and it goes in my collection.
Yeah. I think that's cool. And people pay big money for those specimens of the mounted butterflies and things. That's a really Michael has them hanging on his wall.
I do. You'll see them later this week.
Yeah. Well, we see that George, Uncle Professor, popped in. Hello, friend.
Hi,
Hello.
George.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you
Okay.
fine.
That's great. Well, I'm coming in late, and all I caught was that if you go to Tina's house for Thanksgiving, you better make sure she got the right bird out of the freezer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I usually put those type of birds in a separate freezer in the garage because I don't want to make that mistake.
True. Well, welcome, George.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. Oh, I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah, I have too. It's so fun. So George, why don't you go ahead and give a little introduction of who you are and what you do and what your channel is all about.
Okay, well, I'm George, and I go by the moniker The Antique Nomad, and that's because I travel all over the country. I am based in the middle, but I go to Florida in the winter. I go to the West Coast in the summer, usually. I do shows and real-world stuff all over the place. I have retail spaces. I love to buy and sell. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm a certified appraiser. What else can I think? I just really enjoy all aspects of this business. And my goal with my channel is to help people learn more about the things that they're seeing and expose them to new events, new places, show them a little of my world and what I do, and to make the real world and the online world of collecting merge. And it's really exciting to see that happening.
And George is, Colleen, George is living the dream. I think a lot of people would say that George is living the dream. And that's one of the things that I wanted to ask you about too, George, is like regional things. Like, where do you do the best in your sales? What region is typically the best for you in sales?
Well, I guess I would say the Northwest, and that probably has more to do with the fact that I got my start there and I'm probably best known there and have more contacts there. So I get into better estates and get better merchandise. But I have to say, Florida was really good this winter. I think because it was a place that was doing things and a lot of places haven't been able to. And so there were shows and things to do. Really, to be honest with you, it depends on what merchandise I'm able to get and where I'm headed, because I've got to say this last year with everything being different, I ended up doing a bunch of shows in the Midwest where I was new. Nobody knew who I was. It was where I could go and what was available. And, they did well and it was a lot of fun. And I do well at my antique mall in Kentucky too. So, it's different things sell in different parts of the country. It's funny how in this day and age, we kind of forget because Walmart and Dollar Tree and the big department stores all carry pretty similar stuff everywhere you go. But in the old days, it wasn't like that. It was very regional, what was made in a certain place and what was distributed. It was hard to send things around because it cost a lot of money. And so people still collect regionally based on where they're from, the types of things they like. And so, it really depends a lot on, I can take a van load from one end of the country to the other and drop things off along the way, and they find their way back to where they need to be. And that's part of what I like about doing it this way. It's old fashioned. Now we do that with eBay, but some things just are not very shippable.
No, they're not. And they're not, they are shippable, but they're not necessarily real fun to ship. And you kind of, you lose sleep over those things. I think that it's very interesting that you know what sells in different regions. So if you are if you are on the West Coast and you see some things like maybe some primitive things and that sort of type of thing that really isn't necessarily a real hot item back there, that you're like, okay, I can go down to Kentucky and I can sell all of this stuff that they're not necessarily selling in California, but I know I can sell it in Kentucky. Or if you're in Indiana and you see all of this like Tommy Bahama, like tropical and like things like that, very, I want to say Golden Girl chic and that kind of stuff, that you've got buyers down in your Florida sales. So that's just fascinating to me that you can, it's like you said, it's like selling on eBay, but you're doing it in person. And I think that just seems so neat to me.
It is a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I bought a whole flock of flamingos in Nebraska and took them to Florida. And Jeffrey at Real Nifty Vintage now owns one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he told me about that. He did. Well, and it's just like Fire and Light. Fire and Light is something that we all want to find so badly in this area, but it's just not it's not readily found a lot in this area. It's more found out west, and occasionally it will appear down here in these areas, but not very often. Okay, Michael, do you have anything that you want to ask George or Tina?
I think maybe for Tina, you don't have to be specific, but where do you, because I know you said earlier that you, obviously the things that you gravitate more towards, where do you find the most success in finding the items that really spark that passion that you want to sell or collect? Where do
eBay.
It's eBay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's where I think that's where I find the largest percentage of things. But I can sit and probably say, just give an example of like 3 hours and maybe find one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it has to be in line with the stuff that I sell, but it also has to be at a price point where I can resell it, and you know what I mean,
yeah.
and still be okay with it, because there are a lot of things that are on eBay that are right at price point.
Yep.
And it depends too. Maybe there's an item that I really want to have in my shop, and I'll be happy with just making, $10 on that item, but my goal is to try to at least spend $5 on something and make $10.
Yeah.
Because, trying to find anything out there. There are, instances where I'll go to antique shops and I will, I'll find some interesting or unique items. But it doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
No.
So there's a lot of searching, hours of searching.
Do you find it hard as a specialist to keep steady stock in the things that you do, or do you have certain sources? Now that you've been doing YouTube, I know you're more connected than you were when you started. So do you have certain you don't have to share who they are, but do you have certain places you can go where you're like, oh, I need more of those, I can get them here?
Yeah, I do. There are certain things that I can keep. It's like a staple in my shop, like bird feet. I need a steady supply of pheasant feet to make my weird taxidermy frames.
Yeah.
And so I have somebody that I can go to and get those. Or if I need to restock my toe tags, you know, I have somebody I know I can go to and get toe tags. So, I mean, there are certain things like that, but the majority of things that I sell, I mean, it's a lot of scratching around trying to find it.
Michael and I have some of Tina's toe tags.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Listen, I had seen that Tina was selling mystery boxes, and I was like, oh, and I knew I wanted one. And then I sent Michael a message, and I was like, Tina's selling mystery boxes, and he went and got one, and I went and got one, and oh, it was so fun to open. We did it live. We opened it live. I think on Instagram, wasn't it?
Instagram, yeah. I still have to mount my cicada though. I get nervous.
I haven't even looked at that.
They're so like delicate.
Yeah, they are. They're very delicate. I was working with some last night because I was making, you know, a couple of my projects that I do, and I was cussing because you know, they're not cheap to buy, even if you're going to mount them yourself. And I think I probably flushed about $25 down the toilet.
Whoa.
Just because I fudged up a wing, or, you know, when I was trying to mount it, and then it shot, you know.
Yeah, if y'all didn't know, in Tina's Etsy shop, she's got these. They're not brass hands; they're metal hands, though. Yeah, and she does. It's just so simple, and there's like a butterfly.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
On the fingertip, it's so simple and elegant, and just those are one of my favorite things.
Like this right here is what you're talking about, like this.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
There you go.
And it's closed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got the cloche that goes over it.
See, isn't that cool?
It is. It is.
Now, Tina, I think you should do some more of those because people are like, I want some Tina mystery box. So maybe you should start thinking about doing another Tina mystery box round.
Mm-hmm.
I put another post up on Instagram for mystery boxes where the theme was butterfly. I mean, like, it might have been like a week or so after I posted the first initial ones, and I didn't even have one person.
You need to start tagging me when you do that.
Yeah, because hang on a minute.
George, you want to, someone had asked George a question, is how hard is it, George, for you to unload and load all your stuff in your shows?
It's a lot of work. I would say that, and I really am fussy about setup. I don't just throw it out on a table and say, okay, it's there and good enough. I really try to group things, and I try to organize things and feature things and vary your levels, just like you would do in a retail display, because you really have to keep people entranced. And so it is a lot of work. I would say I probably spend about 6 hours average setting up for a show. And then a show usually is 2 or 3 days. And then it probably takes 4 hours to pack it all up again. And that sounds like a ton of work. But I've got to tell you, at a show, I can sell, you know, a few to several $1,000s worth of stuff. I'll usually sell 100 to 150 items. And think of how long it would take you to take pictures and wrap and ship 150 items. When you compare, it's really pretty similar. And I have to admit, it's really, honestly, it's the exercise I get. So I'm grateful for it because I'm not really an exercise guy, but it keeps me thin.
You're a master packer, though, because I seen you at that show and I was amazed. It's like playing some kind of game, you know, like Jenga or something, where you just fit everything in perfectly. I don't know how you do it.
He just has a minivan. He has a minivan, and he gets so much stuff into that van. I don't know how he does it.
Well, I should do a video on that because that is a process, but it's amazing how, you know, if you have a canister, well, that's a box. So you fill it with little stuff. I mean, nothing goes to waste. There are no empty spaces. And yes, I have burned out a couple of vans.
Because besides the merchandise, you have tables, you have those wooden, crates that you prop things up on. I mean, so it's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, the only thing I sometimes forget to leave room for is me, and then I have to do it again.
Do you see what Grace said? Tina, I love your pieces. I would totally buy a mystery box as long as there are no birds or bird parts in it, and you sage the poop poop out of it first.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, George, he does, and the way that he sets up, he stages his stuff is very interesting as well. So I mean, I think that's a lot of the time is, you're unloading the stuff, but then you're staging the stuff too. I mean, you want to make it aesthetically as pleasing as you can for your customers to come in and see the stuff and shop the stuff. So he does a really good job at that.
Well, a friend of mine describes it as organized clutter. And I think that's the way to make it happen.
I don't think it was cluttery at all. I don't think so at all. No,
that's what draws me in. If it's cluttery and I've got to like kind of look around and peek through things, I'm there.
Yeah.
If it's all like super like, oh, don't touch
I saw
me.
I saw where Michael was at today. Talk about
death pile.
There was some clutter there.
A little bit.
Yeah,
I have to ask George though really quick because I was very disappointed, and I just need to know for the sake of knowing. In his last eBay sale video, he had that beautiful Sabino glass vase that was the thumbnail. How quickly did that sell? Like
practically instantly.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It sold almost immediately, and it went to a viewer, actually. I am pleased about, I've been doing these eBay where I list online, and my level 2 members get to see it first, but then I release it to everybody. And I'd say half the stuff is going to viewers, and that makes me really happy because I hope to do more live selling and other things, but because I do so many different things, I don't have like a regular live sale or a thing that people can count on. So this is the one way I can definitely get merchandise out for people to see. And it's just been really neat to see it go to people who I recognize and who share the love of this stuff. So I enjoy it a lot.
It is, and that's what I say, that it's, for me, it's so fun to package up stuff that to people that that you see on your channel a lot, and you feel like them, in some way, shape, or form. So you're packaging up their things that they have bought from you, and you want to make it special. So I like it too. That's the thing, that there's just that disconnect on eBay versus that connection that you get with your customers and doing these live sales. It's no different than really selling something in, like you're selling something at a show, but this way you're wrapping it up and you're shipping it to them. But yeah, I like that connection part.
It's great. I wasn't sure when I started doing the YouTube and other online things. I've heard social media. I wasn't a big user of social media before this. And I've got to say, I kind of thought the term social media was a misnomer because I thought it would really be very sterile and like you're talking to a big empty room of nothing and maybe someone out there is seeing it. And it's turned out that no, it's got the same collegial feel that I'm used to in real world antiquing. People are interested. They share information. They share customers. They share whatever. And it's just great. It really is social, and it feels like being connected. And especially over this last year, that's been really important. I think it kept me sane.
Yeah, I think so too. You just feel like you are, I don't know, like I said, you feel like you kind of, your customers, like, you can, even though you've never seen them in person, but I sit and talk to them. So like when I'm packing up Randy Girl's package, I talk to Randy. I have a little conversation with Randy when I'm packing up her stuff. Tiger, I have a little conversation with Tiger, and you send like a little blessing, and then you send it on its way. And I just think that it's just special to me, I think.
Well, and here's something that impresses me.
George is like a child. We all are, George. Should we do this now?
Look, there's a box. Well, we could. I just wanted to show, though, that look at this. There's tape with the logo. The branding is there. Misty's really good with the branding. I have to be honest, if you get a package from me, it's going to have nicely arranged garbage that keeps it from getting broken.
You know what though? You are recycling. You're recycling.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I've put newspaper in Walmart sacks or whatever, and I kind of hope that other people will like then use it for something else. So yeah, I think I'm going to be ordering me some tape. It's just
I like Tina's tape. Tina has the paper tape. I like the paper tape versus the plastic
Tina,
tape.
how do you put on the paper tape? Do you have to lick it? Do I have to sit and lick this whole thing of tape before I put it on?
You have the cow tongue to lick that and put it on.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Because don't you put it?
I keep a little squirt bottle and I just squirt, and then kind of rub it across it and then smack it on. That's it.
Don't listen to her. She really does have a cow tongue she uses.
She probably does. But I sometimes will have like 80 packages to pack in one day. I don't.
Yeah.
Will that drive me nuts? If I'm
just get a sponge. Just take a sponge, go down it, cut it, stick it.
Yeah.
Cut it.
Yeah.
Stick
You
it.
can use
sponge it, cut it, stick it.
Because I kind of like this, and it's cheaper.
Well,
Yeah.
I like how this is shiny.
I
How the
always-
logo and the font is
know.
shiny on the paper. It's not reading, but the
I
actual
always
logo
wait
is
till it
shiny.
goes on sale, and that's when I buy it. When it goes on sale, and then they put it on sale often enough to where I don't think I've ever paid full price for it. And
That's
when
great.
they always send you a proof before they bill you, so you okay the proof before you pay for it.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's definitely good branding.
absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. It is. I like this. I like this kind. See, George, the Vintique Scavenger, hello, says, I like getting packages with reused packing material. It makes me feel better about all the packages I get.
Yeah.
See? Winning. You're winning, George.
Yeah,
Well, I like
reuse
reusing.
as much as I can.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all.
No,
Not
I mean,
at
some of
all.
the boxes I send out look pretty janky because I've ripped off the old tape and stuff.
Mhm.
And it's the top portion is, kind of junky and stuff. And then I'll have my nice paper tape on top of it. But, I mean, it's better for the environment. And I think if somebody gets a little disgusted because, they got something with newspaper packed in it, then they're definitely not environmentally conscious to begin with.
Right. I agree.
Mhm.
I that's one thing I will have to say. You have to make sure that if you can take off as many labels as you can or put your label on top, because I have had things returned back to me because it was being shipped back to me because I left my address still. And the post office was like, well, we didn't know you had two addresses on there. So,
well, you know what just happened to me is I got a coffee cup at Goodwill for 69 cents, and it cost me $25 at the end of it to ship it. Do you believe that? Because it cost $10 the first time, and it got returned to me. So then I thought, screw you, UPS. I am going to FedEx or whatever, and I went there and I sent it, and they charged me $15. So this 69-cent coffee mug cost me $25.
I think we've all had those kinds of stories, though. We've all, and you know what? And you learn from it, and it's all part of the process. We've all made mistakes in shipping. All of us. We've made mistakes in buying things and in shipping things. Yeah. Well, should we shout? Oh, well, hello, Rach. Rachel Superior Girl Message.
Hi, Rachel.
Okay, so should we open our boxes? Is there any particular way that, or like, do we open them all at the same time, or do you want us to open them one by one, or what do you want us to do, Tina?
Same time. They're exactly the same.
I'm just cutting the tape.
Are you ready? Here we go. Ooh, it's mysterious, just like Tina. So tell me when you guys have your card.
Okay, I've got my card.
Okay. Ooh, and the winner is, don't you feel like The winner is
Ta-da!
ta-da! Vision and Vintage is the winner. It says, hello, I thought it would be fun to play a game. A trigger word such as antique or vintage would make you take a drink. Oh, so do we have to drink every time someone says a word?
Yeah.
Oh,
we
what do
better
we have to
decide what.
drink?
I don't.
Well, if you don't drink, Michael, you don't have to. You can take a drink of
Oh,
Oh, no,
liquor?
Michael's
Oh my
drinking
God, it's
tonight,
liquor.
Tina. Michael's drinking tonight. He doesn't have to work tomorrow,
No, I don't.
but he is going live with us tomorrow.
Oh, there's a lot of awesomeness in here.
Liven it up a bit, Liven it up a bit.
We got a keychain.
Well, I didn't get my. Oh, here it is. Ooh, keychain. Ooh, those are cool, Tina.
And more.
Oh, what did we get?
I didn't know what what you guys liked flavor-wise, so.
And I will reuse all of this stuff, by the way.
Oh, okay, they're plastic. I was like, oh.
Oh, we got a little.
I think we got a whole setup here. It's like a flight.
Ooh, we got some booze. We got some wine. Sweet red blend.
And something pink, which is good enough for me, just right there.
I was getting ready to say, I think I like the pink.
Whitney.
Pink Whitney.
I'm pouring the pink Whitney.
Yep, that's me too.
So we have to. Let's see what else we got. 99. Oh, this is 99 proof.
Oh wait, I think we've got a shot glass.
Oh yeah, we do.
And I tasted those at Goodwill.
Did you?
Yes, I did. And there was only 4 of them. See, I've got mine.
Clean for Goodwill.
He's got hers too. Oh, I'm trying to get this open.
Well, cheers.
Like
I think for the benefit of our audience, we better pick a somewhat obscure word.
Right, because they're gonna say it every 5 minutes.
That's right.
Ooh,
What?
I got some teeth.
Oh.
Oh, is that what this is? Ooh.
Justin Boners.
Oh,
It's Justin Boners teeth.
I got Keith Cooper. Oh, Keith. He's a little crowded.
Justin Boner.
I can't get mine open.
He's a little crowded right here.
Yeah, Justin. Now listen, my best friend is an orthodontist, so I could probably get you all kinds of these, Tina, if you want more.
Oh, yeah. I'll take them.
I think this was for braces because this is awfully small.
Yeah, I think that they're braces. Yeah, because they look like they're a little snaggletooth.
I love it.
Well, I got Justin Boner's top and bottom teeth.
Did you?
Yeah. Let's see. Let's put his teeth together.
Now, Tina, where does one find these?
Yum, yum, yum. Tina says, oh my God, Vinny is in the house. So I can't even get Vinny started on Justin Boner's teeth.
That sounds like Vinny.
He probably already has said something.
I'm sure he has. He's bad.
Vinny, I got Justin Boner's teeth.
Oh, that was his top. Oh, this is his bottom. Ooh.
Oh, these are the tops. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Justin has he was in need of some braces.
Yeah. Natalie has a scary bite there too. Wow. And no canines.
Oh, he has a moderate overbite. Nothing big.
Nancy.
Oh. Hey,
So
everybody. Keith.
What's our word?
I don't know. That's why I was leaving it up to you guys to figure out what the word would be.
Well,
Where
maybe one of our viewers will tell us a word.
What the key word would be. Or the trigger word.
Trigger word. And then we'll drink. And then we drink.
Yeah.
And then we drink.
And I'm just letting you know, my tolerance is very low.
Oh, me too. Because I really don't drink very often.
I
really
don't either. This will be fun.
But I mean, I do like me some wine from time to time, but I like sweet wine. I like drinks that don't taste like you're drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
You know?
What does that mean?
Jeff, Randy said that Randy said that the trigger word should be Jeffrey.
Oh.
Ooh, Liberace.
Well, then we'd never drink.
Well, I would, because I talk about Liberace all the time.
Well, it has to be something that is going to be.
Right.
I mean, I'm down with trying this right now. I mean, it's. I can barely. It's pink lemonade flavored vodka.
Oh, YouTube. That's a good one. That's a good one, Diane.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I like that one. So every time someone now listen, you all in the chat, don't be, it's when one of us four say YouTube, not y'all, because they're gonna be saying YouTube every 5 minutes. Okay. Oh, I just said it.
You're two behind everybody.
I haven't poured mine yet. Wait a minute.
Ooh.
You're just drinking it straight. You're ghetto.
Ooh, that's on fire. Now
okay.
listen.
Oh my gosh.
It burns.
That's some strong stuff.
We're just sitting back laughing. And we're all Michelle said George is a player. Okay. Tiger said glasses are overrated, Michael.
Huh?
Glasses are overrated.
Oh, I mean, that's why they make them little, because, whoop.
Yeah, did you drink that whole
bottle? No.
Oh, I was going to say. All right.
This is like one shot, though, is it?
I don't know.
Well, this is, I just took a little bitty sip.
Yeah, I set it
off.
I
the whole bottle in there?
This reminds me of my college days and drinking Dark Eyes 100 proof vodka mixed with Kool-Aid.
Oh, really?
The Dark Eyes vodka because it was cheap.
I've never heard of it.
Cheap.
Me neither.
It's the cheap stuff. It's the cheap stuff. Okay. Yeah. Now Stephanie wants to know, can we do this on our life? Well, I don't know, Stephanie, because Tina sent us the box. So
Stephanie has got almond wine out there in the California, which apparently is like impossible to find anywhere else. But almond wine.
Stephanie,
I've never heard of that.
Right?
I've never heard of it either.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tina, Oliver wine, which is an Indiana wine, I heard have a lemon wine, which sounds pretty yummy to me.
Yeah,
it's a lemon Moscato, I think is what it was called.
Well, I seen one of your posts the other day where you guys were playing games or something. You said your new favorite wine, it was like an apple caramel or something.
It's a caramel apple, and it is like heaven in a bottle. They also have cotton candy. Was not a fan of the cotton candy one, but the caramel apple, and it's I think they're based out of Paducah. So Georgia, down in your area, it's called something Four Toads or
Toad's Fork, I think. Yeah.
Yes. It was very good. So Stephanie is Vintage Freak 32. Is she Vintage Freak 32 on Instagram or is it just Vintage Freak?
Vintage Freak 32.
Okay. She's a vintage Instagram seller, and she and another one of our faves on Instagram are going to be a guest on the sale too. So she's got good stuff. They do live Instagram sales, and I think there's one. Is there one tonight? Are they normally Monday nights?
There was just a calendar put up there. I forget. I don't. Okay.
I'm drinking and nobody even said the word.
Demerit.
Cheater.
Pumpkin eater.
Tiger said that almond wine is sparkling wine, which I like.
Yeah.
I like. Okay. Grace said, Misty, we need to make these folks a trash can of fraternity juice. Let me tell you, that's a hairy buffalo. Have you ever had a hairy buffalo?
No.
No.
George has.
Oh, yeah.
You basically ferment your own booze. You put all kinds of fruit in a big trash can.
Really?
And you pour a bunch of liquor in it and let it sit for a couple days, and it's good.
Yes, I had it when I went to see a friend of mine at her Bible college in a very rural little town.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a trash can full of it.
Yeah, it's good. It's
That
like a
sounds
homemade
like
hooch.
botulism waiting to happen.
Well, listen, you're in college. You don't care. You just drink whatever it is to get the job done.
You use a new trash can.
But Emma, you don't do that because you are a good college girl.
Mm-hmm.
Grace said, I knew Misty would know. Misty was Delta. I was a Tri-Delt. We knew how to make some hairy buffalo.
God, the name. That's
I know.
awful.
I think people called it different things, but in my area, we called it a hairy buffalo, and I don't know why. That's just what it was called.
I wouldn't drink it just because of the name.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So, does anybody have any like reselling related questions? And let me pull up the ones that were asked. I took a screenshot. If I can find it. All right. Someone had asked, what is the ABCs for beginner sellers on eBay? Is anybody?
I got a couple of ideas.
Go ahead.
Okay. For me, first of all, I would suggest start small. Don't try to do a million things at once. Contrary to the way I run my business, you might even consider like finding a specialty or a narrow area so that you can build regular customers who look for that sort of thing. So if you have a collection of something, sell those things one at a time, see if you can build up a community of people to follow you. And I know the first time I did eBay, I was like, okay, I'm going to really go for it. And I'm going to put 75 items on it. Oh, it was all I could keep up with. And then I hated it and I got burned out. So don't do that.
Yeah. And I think that that's an important thing to start small too, because of, I think one of the things that was probably the most intimidating, and it seems to be the most intimidating for people, is shipping. And I get a lot of questions about how do you know how much to charge in shipping? And do you do free shipping? I will not do free shipping. I will do free shipping if it is first class, if it's under £1. Because I've learned that I've gotten myself in trouble by doing free shipping, and I've lost quite a bit of money doing things free shipping, especially if you do offer to watchers and you're sending somebody an offer and then you kind of forget, well, I'm just going to send them an offer. And then you're like, oh, why did I do that? Because it's free shipping. So I think that you either need to have most everything free shipping or most everything calculated, because you can get very confused if you're sending those offer to watchers out.
Yeah, and as far as shipping goes too, part of it is look at the item and the category. For example, if you're selling video games, that audience probably expects free shipping. If you're selling little pieces of paper ephemera or sports cards, that audience expects the shipping to be part of the price.
Or books.
Yeah. So you kind of want to look and see what the prevailing thing in that category is, and then make up your mind. But if it's weird and dimensional and sizes vary, then I'm sorry, they've got to pay shipping. Now I have friends who are Fenton dealers, and they're very good, and they want to hit a younger demo, and so they do free shipping on everything, but they weigh and pack and build it into the price before they ever do the listing.
Yeah. I used to do that. I used to weigh everything, wrap it. I used to get it all ready. I'd write down on the box what it was, and then I would just store the boxes up on a shelf. And if you're starting out small, that I think is the best way to learn about shipping, because you're actively wrapping something up. You're following that whole process. So you're wrapping the item up, you're weighing it, you're then putting in the exact measurements and the exact dimensions of the box as you're typing up your listing. And you learn from just the feel of the boxes about how much something is going to weigh. So if you're starting off kind of small, which I think that you should, I would do that. I would wrap everything, do your listing after you get your draft and everything done, and then wrap it up, write on the box what it is, and in pencil, and then just kind of do your shipping and do it that way. That's how I learned.
Well, and there's one other thing with that too, though, is again, if you say you sell a bunch of stuff in a similar category, you may get one person who buys 3 or 4 items and wants you to combine shipping, and then you get to take all the boxes apart and do it all over again. So that's a consideration. Yeah,
that's true. That has happened quite a bit. That does. But again, it's all part of the learning process. It really is. It's you got to start somewhere. And I think that just getting started and doing it, you're ahead of the game. If you can sit and think about doing it for the rest of your life and never do it. So I think that just doing it and just starting out small, you don't have to have an eBay subscription. You don't have to have all the big fancy things. I had seen someone was asking, I think it was Angela had asked, where did I see it? I think it was about live sale shipping. Where did I see that? Angela was asking. Boop, 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 boop. I know I saw it somewhere. Oh, there she go. Angela, when you did your first sale, did you already have a setup for shipping, like a Rollo printer and such? And I think that this can apply to having live sales or having an eBay store or an Etsy store. I did not. I still use white poster board that I get from Dollar Tree. The thicker ones, not like the flimsy, but the kind of the cardboardy ones. I have a white set and a black set, because if you're taking a picture of something that's white, you want to have it on a black background so it stands out. The only thing that I bought that was kind of like expensive wise were my umbrella lights. And I think I paid $60 for a set of 2 of them. They got them better now. That these ones that I have are so big and bulky. You can get a ring light and that would work fine. I never hand wrote my labels. I would just print them off and then cut them out and tape them to the box. So, and I did that for about 2 or 3 years, I think, before I invested in a Rollo printer. So, and I did all my shipping on my dining room table because I worked out of this room that I'm in right now for about 3 years.
That's crazy.
Are you going to do any on your Michael? Michael has a new YouTube channel, and cheers.
Oh, get him, George.
And are you planning on doing any selling and shipping? I think I heard you say, I saw your first video was today, and I think I heard you say you might do some selling. Except now he can't talk.
That went down real quick. Wait, what was the question? Am I going to do
Oh, I'm just wondering if you're going to do any selling on your YouTube channel.
George,
we just had this discussion.
You're doing it on purpose.
You're doing it on purpose.
Oh, that. I didn't even catch. I'm chasing mine with my Pepsi.
Oh.
Mine's done.
You got 2 more bottles.
Well, you ain't even on your first one yet.
No, I did BB sips.
Sales, yeah. I eventually think that I will. I'll eventually do a sale sometime.
The answer is yes. He will.
Good.
Sometime in the future, yeah.
And he's got alcohol in the brain.
It's hot.
It's hot. Kara has a great question too. Kara's going to have a live sale very soon of her own. And she says, how many items should I sell for my first live sale? I'm nervous, like Jeffrey. Oh, Jeffrey's never nervous. Like I've never seen him nervous. Again, I would start small. I think that on my first live sale, I think I tried to sell 30 things and maybe sold 6.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, the thing with having a live sale on YouTube is having an audience built up that is going to see your things. The more people, the more eyes that are on your sale, the more successful your sale will be. However, I think that there is a lot of benefit to having a smaller audience as a buyer, because you're going to have more of a chance to buy from, there's not as many people there. So as a buyer, I kind of would like to come to a smaller sale.
Mhm.
So I think that you just have to promote it as much as you can. Now, promote it yourself. Don't like pop in and say during somebody else's sale and say, oh, I'm having a sale. Don't do that. But, promote it on social media and, and I think that you'll be fine.
Mhm.
But don't expect to sell everything, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, and there isn't oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, there isn't necessarily a perfect number. I mean, just think in terms of how much do you want to talk about the item? How much do you want to, for me, even now, if I look like I'm looking off screen a lot, it's because I'm trying to follow the chat a little bit too.
Right, that's what
that's kind of an adjustment. The first time you do something live, you may not be used to that. So, think about all the moving parts and what you think will be comfortable to deal with. I did a little pop-up sale the other night where I played music and sold 10 items in an hour. And it was easy and fun and low stress. And, for me, that was a good thing to do when I suddenly had a moment and could do it. So, and also think about, I have to say, as a viewer, now this is just, when I'm watching other people's sales, some of them, it's just really fun for the banter and they can go on forever, but a lot of them do go on forever and ever and ever. And so you may want to think in terms of like, I want to limit this to an hour or 90 minutes or some set period of time, and then figure out how much you can do in that time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It took me a while to figure out and I'm still figuring it out, because I like to keep my sales no longer than 2.5 hours. I'd like to keep them actually 2 hours. And depending on how many offer ups you do or how much conversations going on in the chat, for me to do a sale in 2.5 hours, really about 50 items is a sweet spot. I've been trying to sell 60, and I've been going late. So really in a 2-hour time, I think 50 items is doable. But you have to think about it too. I mean, you sell these things and you got to ship all those things too. So, I mean, you've got to figure that in, because it takes me an entire day. I do it all by myself, and it will take me about 10 hours to get everything shipped out. But I like the shipping. The shipping day is my favorite day of the week. I know it's weird, but it is. It's my favorite day of the week. It's shipping day.
Oh, I wish we lived closer. You could do all of mine.
I love it though. I really, I think I like it a lot more than I do shipping up an eBay order. However, I do get eBay sales from viewers, and I recognize their names, and so that's cool. But I just really like the whole connection thing. Like, I know I'm wrapping up Tina's I'll say present for herself or for resale, because let's be honest, we all buy things for ourselves, and we can buy things that were from other people's sales that we're going to resale, and that's just the name of the game. It does not offend me one iota if somebody buys something from me and then they resell it for more money. I'm like, do it. I hope that you do. If you decide to sell it, sell for more money, because that's what we do. I mean, that's what every reseller is trying to do. So it doesn't bother me one bit. Does it bother you, George, when you've been dealing in antiques, and I mean, some people get really salty about it.
I wholesale to dealers all the time, because sometimes you got 5 of something and you paid nothing. And I'd rather turn it quickly and turn that money into something else than sit on it waiting for full retail when I've got 4 more on the shelf. It just makes sense to me to keep it moving. And, some people feel differently. I think it depends what you're doing. Like if you're a specialist, again, like Tina, you may have a hard enough time coming up with replacement merchandise that you really need to hold out for retail because you're going to have to pay up. If you're a specialist dealer doing high-end pottery, for example, you might sell something for $900, but you might have paid $600 or $700 for it. So, you've got to hold out. But for me, I do so many different things, and my world is about volume. Move the stuff, move the stuff, move the stuff. There's that commercial about the, I can't remember what it's a commercial for, but it's this guy goes to an art auction and he buys this picture, and then they say, he turns around and says, okay, now I want to sell it. And they're like, you would never do that. And I'm like, I do that all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I've bought a few things off of you, George, that I've turned around and sold.
Good.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because but I have to say sometimes it does, being in this community makes me feel bad that's why a lot of times, I mean, I am watching the live sales. I normally, it's when I'm working or, when I can, watch them of the evening, because I do try to keep my evenings work free. And if I'm watching the live sales, that's still kind of considered working as far as, what my family's concern is. But a lot of times I won't buy anything or I won't comment because I think it can get a little distracting. And I don't want to be like, oh, well, Misty bought that off of George for $20 and she sold it for $40. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of put a target on your back a little bit. So I don't know. I want to say the more you grow on YouTube, the more people tend to just not like you anymore.
You said YouTube.
So did you.
Well, I'm onto the apple one. What is it? This is 99 apples, liqueur.
That looked like Mr. Fluffer Pants.
Oh, Mr. Fluffer Pants. I don't know where he's at. He's around here somewhere. Oh,
so Tina, now you sell on Etsy, don't you?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Etsy.
How do you find that different from eBay as a seller?
I don't know. I was talking about that a little earlier. About it seems like you can get better prices on Etsy than you can versus eBay. I think just because it's more specialty kind of like a boutique kind of atmosphere, I think, versus eBay. It's just, everybody and his brother is on there trying to make a buck, on the side. So, I mean,
and you're doing more like lifestyle in a sense too. And it's more, I mean, your stuff, you've got true vintage, but it's also of a decorative nature. And I keep hearing that you do better with that on Etsy. I haven't really tried it.
Yeah, I do.
I hate the listing process on Etsy.
The what process?
The listing process on Etsy.
Yeah, it kind of stinks, but I mean, I do sell similar items. So what I'll do is I'll go in to a listing that I've already sold or that's already up on my shop, and I'll copy it and I'll just edit it. So I don't have to do as much work on the listing.
That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah.
smart.
It saves a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, in Etsy, you have to put all these hashtags and I'm like, yes. And I'd be sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, what purple elephant? I don't know. You're like trying to come up with all these hashtags of elephant collector, elephant vintage. I just, my brain.
You have to kind of think about, okay, some layman's terms, like, a lot of times we have the problem where we know the item by what it's technically called. And then you'll have somebody else out there that'll say, okay, They look at the item and say, okay, well, it's kind of bumpy, maybe kind of clear, or this or that. So you have to kind of come up with what somebody in layman's terms maybe would search, and then also put in where somebody who actually knows what they're looking for will search too. So then you'll get both platforms, or both, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could search Etsy like that.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a Google search.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I know when I do videos, it's the tagging is a big thing, and there's so many different ways to figure. And I use vidIQ. I went ahead and got a subscription to that, and that's actually made it a lot easier.
I've done that too. I don't anymore. I did for a while, and then I kind of learned what I needed to learn from it. And I keep my tags. I will only add a couple hashtags per video. I keep them all like they're the same every time, unless I'm doing a specific. Did I say a word, Tina?
George did.
Oh,
did I? Oh,
George.
I didn't even know I did it. This works really well after a while.
When you were talking about the hashtags.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Grace brings up a good point too, being able about chatting during the sales. And let me tell you, well, she says being able to chat in the live sales is what draws people to you. And it is. I think you need to be engaging with your customers and your audience. It's the connections that make your channel special. Please don't forget that as you grow. There's an opposite side of that too, because I know that my chat goes fast. Jeffrey's chat goes 10 times faster than mine. Jocelyn's chat goes 25, 30, 40 times faster. It's so hard to see everybody's comment when the chat is moving so fast. So it isn't like people are trying to like ignore you. Sometimes it's just not seen.
Right.
So I guess I just ask, don't think that you're being ignored. You're not. It's just, we can't possibly point out every single comment, especially during a sale. During a sale, you're really kind of trying to keep the train on the tracks. I have ADHD, so if the train gets derailed, we're in for a windy road around the mountain a little bit. So everyone in the chat is important. It's just hard to see everybody, so
I think there are two things with that though. I think the first one is that, and I'm going to go kind of back to George's earlier point about it, is that I think it really depends on what it is as a content creator that you want to personally get out of it and what kind of an atmosphere you want to provide for your audience. So if George wants to do 10 items in an hour because it's chiller, it's more laid back, it's more conversational, that's awesome. If there's somebody that wants to do 50 items, but they're going to take 4 hours because they're more about the social aspect, because they do want to focus on the chat, that's what makes it go 4 hours, is because they're focusing on the chat. Whereas Jeffrey's a really good example. He'll do 60 items, but he's done in 2.5 hours because he's very focused. He will maybe touch on some things in the chat, but he'll very much go, this item is this item is this. So it's just kind of what I think you as an individual and what we as an audience then want from those sales.
Yeah.
Well, and you're not going to please everybody either. So
no.
But to that point is, I think the second thing is that, as Misty said, as the channel gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, it's harder and harder and harder for one person to focus on 100 and almost 200,000 people, and the comments like today is insane. Like I think I have like nearly 200 comments. Like, what do I do? Do you know what I mean? Do I go through and like some people's comments, reply to some people's comments, and then some people are like, well, how come you didn't reply to mine? And that's just from one video, you guys. That's just one video from 200 comments, let alone, these guys who have how many more subscribers and how many more comments. we have to, as an audience, understand that it's hard for one person to be able to interact with thousands of people daily. It's
I think George is
overwhelming.
excellent at it, though. George is really good at it. I don't know how he keeps up on it. And
Do you answer everyone, George? Do you reply to every comment?
it sure looks like he does.
So far, I've been able to manage. It's almost too big. I do premieres on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I chat with people, and I get about the right number of people where I can handle that. And I, comment, sometimes I get way behind. I'm trying to stay with it. I really want people to know that part of it is about being community. And because I don't do a lot of lives, it's my way to be able to converse because, since I don't always have time to do lives. And I also, I try to get back with everybody because I want them to know that I care and that I notice that they're there. There is a point where it outgrows you and you just do the best you can. And maybe all you can do is heart and thumbs up. There are ways to slow the chat down or to filter where you can also set it so that people can only comment once every 15 seconds or every 30 seconds so that it's a little more paced where you can keep up with it. So there are some things we can do on our end to slow it down. I might be on the verge of that. I'm trying not to, but we just do the best we can. I mean, I think part of what's great about this is that it's a very real experience, and that's what people like. And that's why the lives are important. I see a question on the screen here I'm not going to read it all aloud because I don't want to drink 3 times, but on YouTube, we'll do one.
Good luck with that Apple one. That thing is strong.
I can't. I can't on the Apple. Holy tamale.
Do you find people are more interested in hanging out and chatting? Also, do you think they'll start taxing sales? I think a lot of people are in it for the hangout and the chat, and I think that's great. It's part of the community. It's part of what I love about doing shows is people come up and they might buy something from you one show and maybe not the next, but they come and they say hi and they talk about what they found and they're all excited, and it's it's that energy. So I think that is a lot of the appeal. I don't think it's the only appeal. Some people are really there for the merch. Some people are there to learn, but it's all of those things. As far as do I think they'll start taxing sales? That's a good question. I have to be honest. I'm reluctant to go too deep into, is YouTube going to want a piece of the action, and are they going to start tax? Oh, I said it, didn't I?
Oh, George.
No.
Cheers.
Are you guys on the Apple or are you still on the pink?
No, I just finished the pink.
I'm cheating. I know. This Apple is no joke.
I'm a sipper. I know my limits.
Fire.
But do I think they'll start doing those things? I have to be honest. I almost wonder if we're begging. I don't like to beg the question. I'm one of these do it and ask forgiveness later kind of people. And so I almost hate to even go there, to be honest with you. Right now they're not. I think that's wonderful. And I think we should just enjoy that and not focus on what we don't want.
Well, keep in mind though that the sale isn't technically, the transaction is not occurring on YouTube. The transaction is happening on PayPal.
Oh, Michael, my lips are numb. I cannot feel my lips now.
This starts to taste like licorice.
It's actually pretty good.
No, it tastes like I'm drinking fire.
And the rest of our videos will be canceled for the week. Thank you very much.
Michael, who doesn't drink, is drinking everything so fast.
I got a good liver. It's in good condition. It's like pristine. It's like, it's processing it.
I went into the liquor store and I kind of felt bad going in the liquor store. Like, I'm not buying all of this for myself.
They're like, sure, lady. That's what everybody's
exactly.
saying.
Sure.
They were thinking,
I asked for recommendations, and this is what she recommended. So she said she sells a lot of it, and I don't understand. Now that I
pink one
tasted
wasn't
it.
too bad.
My lips are literally numb. I'm not gonna lie. Which isn't a good sign for Misty. I do want to say though about the comments. I think that it's very important for every comment to be acknowledged. I do. And I think by acknowledging them, because I read every single comment. And I think, and sometimes there isn't really much that you can say and reply. I mean, what are you going to say? Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know what I mean? So I think just acknowledging and giving a heart and giving a thumbs up, that at least it lets them know that you have read it, because they get notified that you have liked their post. So I think that that's important, because everybody wants to be acknowledged. And I think that that's a very important thing to do with your audience. Now, that being said, I know like with Jocelyn, who has like probably, 1,000 comments sometimes in a video. And it's going to get to a point probably where that's going to be very hard unless you hire someone, which that's stepping outside of what you really want to do in the relationship that you want to have with your viewers. So I think that it's important to acknowledge everyone's comment, because listen, we ask for them, because when you comment on a video, it helps your video. So I always suggest that you do comment, even if it's like I say, random numbers, or just, let your cat walk on your keyboard, anything does help. It really, really does. And we make these videos, we don't get paid by your comments. But when you leave comments, that does help our videos get more traction as far as YouTube goes.
Well, and I try to read the comments, because sometimes people have really good points. Sometimes they're critiques. Sometimes they're,
yes.
I mean, I've been told recently I need a haircut, which is absolutely true. I was told after one that I really need to clean my fingernails, which was absolutely true. I almost cut that scene because I was just like, but it was something I really wanted to show. And I was at a show and I was in my booth and I was cleaning a price tag off something. I didn't have any of the right stuff.
And it got under. Drink.
Oh, it was so funny. Oh, whoops.
Oh, the apple. I'm telling you what, if I get through this, there is no way I'm going from liquor to wine. That ain't going to happen. I'm
drinking the wine.
Take it slow.
Well, you were smart.
I'm drinking a Pepsi.
But, but there's also, there's sometimes people ask questions. I mean, I've actually had a couple of appraisal jobs that have come from this, because I am an appraiser, and I've had a few people who are like, I really need to pay someone to evaluate something for an estate or something where they needed a report. So the comments are important, because it is how people can communicate with you. I have to say one thing about this platform that is a little frustrating is that sometimes, I'll have someone, we get to know our viewers and what they like, and especially through the comments. And then sometimes I'll be like, I have this perfect thing that this person would really like to see. And you can communicate with me through comments, but unless you leave a comment, I can't communicate back with you. And I don't necessarily have access or feel right about sending a blind something to someone who maybe I don't know, saying, I've got this thing that'd be perfect for you. But sometimes I'm like, but this thing would be perfect for them. So, the comments are important in terms of building your relationships with your viewers in that way.
I absolutely agree. And honestly, I have learned so much from my subscribers leaving comments, when they've, and we all know when we're shopping and we're filming, we miss things. I mean, so people will say, you missed this, 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 and this. And you're like, I know, as I was editing, I saw what I missed and I'm kicking myself, but we do miss a lot of things. But I like when people, I like it when people say, I saw this, this, this on the shelf, because then I'm like, well, what is that, and that? I didn't know what that was. And then I'll Google it, or I'll look it up on YouTube or on eBay. And so it helps you learn things. And
that's a half a shot. Kind of Misty. Fail.
I said you too. I didn't say the whole thing. And then, I can't.
Tina, this was a great idea.
I'm going to throw this in here. If anybody is doing live sales, just because I don't do live sales on my channel, if somebody would want me as a guest on their channel to participate in one of their live sales, I'm not, I don't have a problem with that. So I'm just putting that out there. If somebody, wants me on there, I'm good with that. I can do that.
I like being on other people's live sales. It's fun and it paces it. It's a good way for me, not having done a lot. It's like good practice because I don't have to be on the entire time. I can get things ready, do my thing, and then I have a moment to reset for the next one before it comes back to me. And I like that.
I would do a group sale every single night. I honestly would. I mean, they wouldn't want me to, but I would. I love, love the dynamic of a group sale. I absolutely love it. And I think that it's a lot of fun for our viewers as well because of the camaraderie and the fun banter that we have. And I think that, like, if I'm selling something and I don't know something about it, maybe George could just, of course, George would know about it, but George would
exactly.
Like, oh, this was, so and so and so. I just think that they are a wonderful thing to do. I like the Tuesday sales so much more than my Wednesday sales. I make more money on my Wednesday sales because I'm selling more things. But I love being able to, it's very much, I don't know, I just love it. And I would do one I'm going to be on Patrick's channel doing a live sale of the evening in May. I can't remember the day. So I love them. I do. And I wish that I could do more of them. I wish that but here's the thing. When are you going to do them? There is a sale every hour. And I think that, finding the time to do a sale is impossible, it seems like. And listen, you are going to, if you're going to have a live sale, it's going to be during the time somebody else is having one. It just is. And while the calendar is wonderful for our customers, it makes it a little hard when you just want to sporadically go live because you want to have a chat with your audience. And you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. You don't want to step on anybody's toes, but you know what I mean?
I think there's just, yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Well, I think there's just so many that at this point, we all just have to realize that we are going to overlap sometimes. It's just the way it is. I mean, there's so much content coming out now in this community, which I think is really cool, and new people coming in. And I think it's great. It's what makes it interesting and varied. And, we just are, I think you just put it on, you find your people, and don't worry about what other people are doing. I know that sounds kind of callous, but it's just the reality. There's only 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week.
You do, and you can't be offended by it. You have to understand that, because I know that Jeffrey has had a couple comments, but people were like, well, there's so many, why are you having your sale? There's so many sales that day. I can't keep up. Well, but we're not working. We work for ourselves, and we have to work for what fits our schedules. And, but people will watch a sale on this device and a sale on this device. And I mean, you just have to do what you have to do. And that's just the way that it is. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. But Stephanie says, does answering or responding to comments help your algorithm? That helps on Instagram, but curious about YouTube. Absolutely. I think it's very similar, Stephanie. Oh, dang it. Oh,
we're not friends anymore.
I'm like so sipping, like I'm taking a minuscule drink and it burns.
I feel like I'm like 105 degrees right now. I know.
Oh,
well,
this was probably a bad idea.
No, I think it's a fun idea. Listen, if any future guests, I will not be eating bugs or anything like that. So just throwing that out there.
Next time, Tina.
Christy has a good point. She said she doesn't do live sales, but her videos are just haul videos. How long should a haul video be so people don't get bored? What do y'all think?
I say, as long as you're not boring, then it's not boring.
Answer in the comments too. Sorry, Michael, but you guys can put your answers in the comments too. It doesn't have to be just from us. So you guys answer. You tell Christy what you think in the comments as well. Sorry, Michael.
No, and I totally don't mean that in a shady way. I don't mean like if you're not a boring kind of person. What I mean is, as long as you're interested and engaged, and there's like if you're like, yeah, and this is the bottle of wine I got, and here's this, it's not entertaining. It's not engaging. You could do that for 15 minutes and it would be 15 minutes of my life wasted. But you could be like, oh my God, you guys, look at this set of dental teeth that I got. And you do that for 10 hours. Then you're engaged for 2 hours. You're keeping somebody entertained for 2 hours. It's the same thing as a live sale. What do you want to get out of it?
I think it takes practice for some people though. I mean, because it's like stage fright.
And I love these too. I love these.
I'm putting them in my bathroom full of.
Oh my God! Yes. That's such a good place for them.
I think a lot of people have a problem being relaxed in themselves in front of the camera, and that's a lot of it. But I think once they do it so many times, they'll become relaxed. Their true personality will come out, and they'll be more engaging and fun and interactive with people. It's just getting over that first hump, I think, is the problem. Because, I mean, like Misty said before, if you watch your first video, you're like,
mine's so bad.
A deer in headlights, you know?
I'm shooting in vertical mode. My hair is like Elvira black. I got this bright red lipstick on.
Yeah.
I like what Vintage Vinny said in the chat. He said it's important to have a fair balance of chat and sale. I think it's important to answer questions people have, but not get distracted and off topic. And I think that is the key to keeping a haul, a live sale, that sort of thing going. The other thing too, I just remember my marketing professor in college, and I paid for that instruction, so I'll just parrot what he said. He said the reason that TV shows are never more than an hour is that people in classroom conversations and lectures, usually most people have about a 55-minute time span, and that's as long as they can focus on one thing.
Yes.
So, maybe that's a guide. I don't know. Lots of people do a lot longer than that. There's no reason you can't, but just to know kind of what the average human being responds to, that seems to be a time frame.
Yeah.
What I've noticed though is that I can make a 20-minute video and people will hang on for like 11 or 12 minutes is what it'll say my average is. Mm-hmm. And then I can make a 10-minute video and people will hang on for 5 or 6 minutes. So it seems to be like almost half every time of whatever length my video is.
I think that's true. And of course, part of that is because a bunch of new people come in and think because of your thumbnail or whatever you said, it's going to be one thing and they don't know you and they watch 10 seconds and go, oh, this isn't about what I thought it was, and click, they're off. So because mine run about the same too, about half of whatever, if it's an hour and a half, they'll stay for 45 minutes. If it's 20 minutes, they'll stay for 10. I mean, that seems like it's just part of the way it works.
I know that people say, oh, check that. I never do. I just don't. I am just a full believer in my video is going to be as long or short as it needs to be. And I think that you can get yourself so bogged down and so discouraged by some of those analytics. I think that you just have to do it. I mean, I get people that say, oh, I don't like the long videos, but then I get people that say, oh, I love the longer videos. I don't like the shorter videos, and I myself, as a viewer, I like the longer videos when I'm viewing other people's channels because I watch them as I'm working. And as you're working, then you have to where's my remote? Because their video's over. And, I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. I just don't. First of all, you have to have some kind of a college degree in YouTube analytics to understand YouTube analytics, because I don't understand any of it. Oh, dang it. Misty.
It's Misty. It's Misty.
You might
doing
I
it.
can't help it. I got a
This is
lot to
it.
say.
That's all I have left. See it? What's that? Can you?
Okay. It burns like fire.
I haven't even opened the apple. I won't even touch it. Ever since you had that reaction, I will not touch it.
Tina, you
The
have
first
to
one
try
is
it.
good.
You have to
The
try
first sip is good.
It's like a drunken Jolly Rancher. It's not that
it.
bad.
It is. Tina, you did this. You have to try it.
It's really syrupy the more you get into
Well, you
it.
scared me off.
Yeah, Randy has a good point too. You know, are you wait? I'm going to get her reaction when she tries it.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, you want to try a little shot of fire water?
No, thank you.
Oh, it's like fire.
It's like fire.
I had to spit it out.
I know.
You did? That's cheating.
So Randy has a good point. She likes longer videos, provided the seller is not talking like Mr. Rogers and boring. I think that's a good
Give me
point.
some ice.
I think
Oh,
what she
no,
needs,
I'm going to have to do a complete voiceover for my
Right.
next video.
I think what
Rip it
she
out
needs
to
is
this
like
nice.
people are saying, like, I got this. Isn't this nice? Do you like this, boys and girls? You know, you have to, honestly, you have to turn on that camera and not think about it. Don't think about what you're going to say. Don't think about, you just turn the camera on and what happens, happens. You can edit it out if you say something ridiculous. I've had to edit a lot of things out of my videos because I've said something ridiculous. And which I do on a daily basis. Ask my husband. I say things ridiculous all the time. But I think that you just have to be genuine. And I think that if you're genuine, it's going to pick up. People are going to see it in your videos.
Yeah.
If it's genuine.
I mean, the only thing I'm worried about is the cursing. Other than that, if I say something stupid, you know what? Y'all are going to see me at my stupidest. You won't see me at my angriest, but you will see me at my stupidest.
Well, I
that's
think
true.
people like to laugh too, and they're going to laugh along with you. And you know, they might tune in just to say, "Hey, what stupid crap is Michael going to
What's
do
that
today?"
fool doing today?
Right?
There you go.
Well, and I think that you need to let people see you smile. You know, you want people to be uplifted when they watch your videos. You know, you want them to smile and you want them to feel good after it. You want them to want to watch you again. And I think that if you go on and you're negative and you say, this shop has nothing that I like, I'm never coming here again, that can be a major turnoff to a lot of people. I think being as positive as you can, and Grace has a good point, you have to nail it in the beginning. You do. I think that, and I add that little teaser in mine. Sometimes they're better than others. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's my teaser because I'm editing something at 2:00 in the morning. But I think that having a little snippet of something to be like, ooh, what's this going to be about? I think that is an important thing to do, or an introduction. It doesn't have to be a teaser from your video. I know that Nicole Northgarden does a really, really good job at, she's introducing her video. She'll say, you know, hey, today we're going to talk about this, 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 and this, you know, and come along. And, you know, so you're giving people an idea of what they're going to see. So, yeah, I said she's got a bosom full of air plants. I mean, that'll bring them in, right? Yeah.
New title.
Yeah. I struggle with that.
Oh, I am horrible at titles. I am not good at it at all. The three most important things is your thumbnail, your title, and your tags. Those 3 T's are the most important thing for your videos. You don't want your title to be too clickbaity, but it's got to be a little clickbaity. It does. You don't want your thumbnail to be a little ridiculous, but it needs to be a little ridiculous, you know? So, you know, Who is someone that you guys watch often? Oh, I'll let you all answer this first because you all probably already know what my answer is. But who is someone that you guys watch often that inspires you? George?
Oh, okay. I was hoping you wouldn't ask me first. I got to tell you, it really is. I'm trying not to get in a rut and only watch the same people all the time. I tend to watch people who I've met. So I've met Tina. I watch her. I've met Misty. I watch you. I watch Crazy Lamp Lady. I watch Jeffrey. It's easy because I know them personally, so I see things a little differently now when I watch the videos. But as far as I'm trying to. What I'm actually doing is trying to search YouTube and find other people who are doing vintage but doing it a little differently, because it does become an echo chamber. We do sort of get to where we're just in a circle all telling each other how wonderful we are, which is true, but it's it's nice to kind of venture out. I saw somebody today called Tennessee Picker. I don't even know who that is, but I'm going to try to watch that and just see what it is and whether they do vintage or not, just because my idea is it's a big tent and let's bring everyone into the community. So I guess that's not really a good answer, but the truth is that I watch as many different people as I can still, because I want to see how different people do things, because this is, there's just so many different ways of doing YouTube. And that's, oh, geez, I did it.
I'm done.
You can switch to water.
I'm not going from liquor to wine.
Oh, I can't.
Did you go to? Oh, you're still on the Apple?
Yes.
I'm kind of. No, I don't want to open it and then.
Tina, what about you? Who are some of your?
Well, I watch people from all over the board. Are we talking about just the thrifting community?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think in general.
Well, I mean, I watched you, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to start watching Michael. But I do like George's because I tend to learn a lot from his videos.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I've got, other people that I watch for other reasons. I like the mind of Kathleen McConnell. I love hers because she is just, I don't know, it's kind of Victorian versus I can't even explain it. It's called From the Mind of Kathleen McConnell, I think is what it's called. But you'd have to watch one of her videos. She is like the jack of all trades, and she basically is a master, as far as I'm concerned, of everything. She just, whatever project she sits down to do, whether it is to reupholster a couch or make a painting or paint the walls like a wallpaper type thing, it's just like the best I've ever seen.
But I think that is really that's really an important thing to watch, because you as a reseller and like more of as a decor, reseller, you're watching these videos and it's going to help you learn what's on trend, and like it'll inspire you to find things that your buyers will want. You know what I mean? So I think it's kind of like research. You're kind of like researching trends right now as far as design, and it's giving you ideas of things that you can do in your own creations.
Well, I love the style of the Victorian era period, So, and I think a lot of the people that like the things that I like love that style too. The over the top furniture design, where you have all of the carvings and you have all the lace, and you have all of the inventions that they did. You have all these quack medical devices, and it's very interesting era, I think. And I think that's why so many people are drawn to it. And I love the way they dress. I mean, everything about it to me is very enticing. But to get back on subject, y'all, if you like scary stuff, they have these things, which I have a problem going to sleep because probably like Misty, you lay in bed and then 500 billion things are going through your head that you have to do the next day or whatever else. But I found that this actual channel is basically it has the background of like a thunderstorm or just a rainy scene or something like that. And it tells nothing but stories, whether it be paranormal stories or just little tidbits of like, oh my gosh, like a coincidental kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but it keeps you interested listening to these stories, and it puts you to sleep because of the soothing backdrop. But it's I don't know. I love it. I fell in love with it. And this is something I just fell in love with like the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody else is interested in it, but I love it.
I'm trying to find a question, but anyway, Michael, what you can answer first, Michael, and then I'll answer mine. But I'm trying to find a question here that someone had asked.
Well, you know what? The Bargain Barons, they're from Canada, and I love, love, love them.
Yes, they're fun.
I mean, I don't know. I definitely am not somebody that branches out a whole lot, to be completely honest with you. I don't know. I'm just one of those people that like I focus and I invest my time on people that I think that I gel the best with. And, Misty, Michelle, Jocelyn, George, Jeffrey, Tina,
Alex,
Alex. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, I don't know. And I guess I should do that because I think that there's a lot of validity into what George is saying. I do agree with that, but it's just, I'm one of those people that I find comfort because yes, I have gotten to know most of these people, some more than others, but there is a comfort to me in seeing their YouTube videos. It's just a very familiar kind of thing.
like
so
family.
far as exactly, so it is very relaxing.
Yeah.
I know like a lot of people, Misty's just doing a Misty video. It's very relaxing at night, or Jocelyn.
Really?
No, it is because there's a familiarity. It's a decompression.
Yeah.
It's,
I
do you
understand
know
what
what
you're
I mean? Like I quite literally, because there is more than just, there's a friendship there. So, it's a very soothing kind of thing to me. But a lot of outside of the YouTube thing, I'm out of liquor, so it doesn't matter to me.
Boo.
For me, it's a lot of the new Instagram sellers like Stephanie, Vintage Freak 32, or Marcy, Vintage Bulldog, and Allison, Skeleton Keys in the Closet. Like, I cannot tell you how fun it is to watch one of their Instagram of the ISN After Dark. It's very small, it's intimate. They're really good ladies.
Listen, in a couple weeks, y'all are going to be exposed to our. And Michael's a little salty at me that I've wanted them to be on the channel because he's like, well, now everybody's going to go to their sales. Well, that's the point.
It's like you're that high school kid in college. The high school kid in college. You're like the kid in high school and you love this indie band and it's like all yours, and all of a sudden they get like that #1 hit, and then all of a sudden everybody loves them and you're like, oh,
That's the way I was with Jason Momoa, and now everybody took him, and I was ticked off about it.
That man is fine.
No
Lord
crap.
have mercy.
I have been in love with that man since the Barbarian movie that I seen him in. And then when he got really big with this, Aquaman, I was like, y'all, I've been beat on him since before y'all knew about him, so I don't even want to hear about it.
He is no Paul Newman, though. I'm gonna say
no,
he is
no, he's not Paul Newman. But He's a fine looking dude.
Yeah, he is. He is. And he's really genuine and fun and nice. Anyway, you all know I love my Liz Retros. Liz Retros. I love Liz Retros. I love her, love her, love her. One of these days I'm going to go out and meet her. I don't know when. And I've not, in my mind, I'm going to meet her. But I love Liz Retros. And again, I like what Michael said. I watch every morning. I have a routine. Every morning I watch Jocelyn's videos. I watch Jeffrey's videos. And and when I'm laying in bed at night, I like to watch Crazy for Vintage. Do you guys ever watch her? Her voice is very, I don't know. She's not like real, like, "Ooh, hello, I'm Misty," like that. But she's very like a calming presence. There's something about her to me that's very calming, and she's got amazing things. And then my kick that I am on right now, I love him, and he is not a reseller, is Days with Jordan the Lion. He is a travel vlogger. He lived in California, so he did a lot of like the old Hollywood stories and stuff, which I love. I love that old like 1920s, 1930s, 1940s Hollywood era. But he's traveled all around the world and stuff. But I don't know. I just really like him, and my husband likes him too. So we'll just sit down and watch, Jordan the Lion, and it has nothing to do with reselling. But I don't know. It's just like you feel like you know them, and you don't, but you feel like you do because you've invested so much time in them, and just hearing their voice is it's a familiar, calming thing. So yeah, I don't know. We all have our and I love Ann Eckhart. You go back to your favorites that you watched from the very beginning. I love Tina's videos, George's videos. I love, and I want to say though too, I know we're past 10 o'clock, but George has done a very good thing. And I think that if you have a YouTube channel and you're just starting out and you're wanting to build your channel, dang it. George does something. Oh gosh. George does something that is very, very smart. He does the premieres. If you do a live premiere where you are available in the chat, you're not live, you're doing it, you're in the chat and you're kind of watching the video with your subscribers. That is a brilliant way to build familiarity with your audience. So,
and it's fun.
It's fun. It is fun. I think that is one way to definitely build an audience, and it's a one way too to get a lot of views at one time on your video as well, which is a great thing.
Off the subject, but do you remember the Instagram post from Crazy Lamp Lady where she had the coffin with the window?
Yes.
And then had the clown in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know how much that sold for? $170.
Well, someone was crazy.
That's
all I have to say.
I wanted it so bad, and I was bidding on it. And when it got up that high, I couldn't do it.
Well, Tina, it's a secret, but we actually went in together, and it's on its way to Misty right now.
You better not be, because I will send it to Tina.
Oh my gosh!
I will send it to Tina.
I will take it.
Coffin window clown. Yes. Coffin window clown.
That was awesome.
Jocelyn wants to know what this drinking game is. Oh boy.
Oh.
Now I want to say though too, before we go, that I am looking forward to Ohio this year. I think we're going to do Ohio again this year. I will have to be in touch with Paulette so we can get Paulette's house again. And Tina went last year. Michael, you can just jump in the car with Jocelyn and you can come right on down too.
I'm there.
All right.
Are you folks going to go to May or October or September?
Mark and I think we might go in May.
I think I'm going to sell there in May.
Oh, are you? Are you going to sell in October?
I plan to, yeah, especially if you guys are all going.
Oh yeah. I kind of thought it would be fun, but then I'm like, no, I don't know if I want to do. I think it would be fun if we like all sold, like we all had like a booth together, like we all split it, and then we all kind of sold stuff, or like George had a booth and I had a booth, and Jocelyn had a booth, and then like open it up to you two people to come to Ohio and shop our booths. But I don't know.
That would be neat.
That's a lot of work.
That's ambitious.
It's a lot of work and it's ambitious, but I am going to be there and have a booth, and we could figure out something where maybe everybody brought some stuff and we could take shifts, because I mean, you also want to go shopping.
Right, that's what I'm saying. We would definitely want to go shopping. So I don't know. I think I'm good with just coming.
Did you just say the word?
No, I didn't. Did I?
I thought you did. Okay.
No.
Go on.
Shopping?
I like to shop and eat. I mean, I'm down with shopping and eating at the festival and staying at Paulette's, because Paulette made us cake. It was an Airbnb that we stayed in, and she made us cake.
That was sweet.
Jocelyn, we love Paulette, right? Jocelyn loved Paulette too. Paulette was a nice woman. We don't know who she is, but she was a nice woman. And one day we will have our convention. One day we'll get it figured out, right, George?
Absolutely. I have plans. As soon as everybody is ready to travel again, I think we're a go.
Yeah, I think we need to do something. We need to plan something big. I don't know what it is yet, but I think we'd like to do something like that. The
thing is it would have to be centrally located, I guess, for most people to be able to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it would have to be probably Midwest. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, honestly, that's true. Maybe we'll have to have a West Coast one for the people out there and figure out, because it's so far to go. But yes, it definitely somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, October is the Ohio Extravaganza. It's a very nice. It's a huge antique show. I highly, highly recommend, if you are able, going to it. The prices are great for the most part, and it's a lot of, it's just a massive event to go to.
I found a lot of items there that I struggle to find, on a normal basis. And they were priced really, really well. Yeah.
It was very good. Yeah, Jocelyn doesn't like to eat cake. She didn't eat the cake. She's not a sweets person. She didn't like the cake. But yeah. Well, I think that we're at 10:07. I could talk to this crew all night. This was just a fun show.
Me too. It feels like it just started.
I know it does. It feels like it just started.
The liquor.
Well, probably so.
I just want to let you all know that I love you guys. Even though I don't like, I'm not like down the street from you and we visit and chat every day. I feel like I know you guys really well.
I know, it does.
You all seem so genuine. And and George, I love you to death. You're such a sweet man. Misty, you're just such a sunny, bright person. And I just enjoy watching your videos because of that.
Thank you.
And Michael, you're just such a goofball. I just love you.
Michael is my voice of reason. He talks me off of my
his faces he makes.
Yeah, he's
I can't help it.
He is very expressive. Absolutely.
Jamie said, we're at the I love you guys here.
Yeah.
And nobody even said
that word.
Yeah.
Let me tell you though, Michael he really lets me know about every single day how much he appreciates and loves our friendship. And I don't know. It is very much a wonderful, wonderful community to be in. Everyone is so encouraging and uplifting. And I really hope that everyone continues to do that. And I think that we will. I think that this is just a great community in general,
Oh, I do too. And I have found that I've been in the antique and vintage business for 30 years. And I've got to say, I have found that over and over and over everywhere I've gone. People collaborate, people help each other out.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're competitors, quote unquote. It's really different because, you know, you're going to have something that I don't, and so is the next person, and so is the next person. So it's a nice thing where you can be alongside each other doing the same thing, and you're not taking away from anybody, you're just building. And it's the most really terrific community of people that I've run into as a collective group, and it just keeps me coming back.
Yeah. There's enough out there for everybody.
Absolutely. Yes. And I say that a lot because people sometimes will tell me, oh, why are you, sharing this channel and sharing that channel and sharing this sale and sharing that sale? Don't you want people to come to your sale? And yes, I absolutely do. But the thing of it is, we all sell different things. I'm not selling the same thing that George is selling. I'm not selling the same thing that Michael is selling or Tina is selling. It is not like we're selling the same thing with we're all selling different things at different times. And so I think that it's very, very, very important to be supportive of this community. It's just a wonderful community, and you can't help but be supportive of it.
Yeah, and it's also how you find cool stuff, because somebody knows somebody knows somebody who knows somebody, and eventually you find that somebody, and that's how you get there. Because it's not like a regular business where you order out of a catalog. I know, Michael, you're in regular retail sales, and it is a different animal, don't you think?
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. And even then, it's not even a guarantee anymore in the world that we live in. So you got to get what you can get where you can get it.
Right. Well, I just wanted to say before we go, Jocelyn, I got an old man doll in the mail today. I don't know if you guys have seen I went live today, and it is an old, I should have brought him home with me. I didn't even show him to Mark, but he looks
Does he have a name yet?
He has a Winky. He has a little Winky.
Oh dear.
And he looks like an old man. And I think I'm going to send him to Jocelyn for Sissy. I think Sissy needs an old man with a Winky doll, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much. I mean, this is just, again, it's a wonderful community. I love Monday nights because I like this chat that we're having with one another. I highly, highly recommend, if there is something that you're wanting to ask or a topic that you're wanting us to discuss, to send it to me in an email or on Instagram, or post it in one of my videos. I do read every single comment. So next week we will have Vintage Vinny. He's in the chat, I see. And we will have Miss Pamela Blanchard will be our guest next week. So that's going to be a really fun.
I love both of them.
Yeah, I know. I do too. And make sure that you do subscribe to everybody who has been on tonight's channel. All of their channels are linked down in the description down below. Make sure that you do subscribe. You will learn so much from these wonderful people. And everyone has their each individual topic and their individual niche. So make sure that you do. And also, don't forget that tomorrow we're having the Three's Company sale. It will be at 1:00 Eastern Standard Time on Michelle Comfy Cozy Living's channel. So make sure that you're subscribed to her. It's going to be at, 1:00 Eastern Standard Time. And did I forget anything?
Yes. Here's to YouTube.
Oh, I got one last drink. Actually, I'm gonna drink a little bit, and I'm gonna let Mark drink the rest.
Just do it all. Do it all. Chug.
Oh man, but Mark likes his bourbon, so he might like that. Here you go, Mark.
You might need to do like Groucho Marx in the old TV show and have the secret word. This might be a new thing.
Do you like it? Oh, it's pretty good.
There you go.
Oh,
not for me.
No, not for me either. Not for me either. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, George, and thank you so much, Tina. I love you both. And we'll do this again next Monday, same time, maybe the same channel. I don't know. We're gonna be going over to Michael's channel because Michael needs to get those watch hours up.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
We'll get there. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you all.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.